Hello friends, I thought we'd take a trip to Paris this time to see the Eiffel Tower on the Seine. I have already put in the pencil drawing and I'm working on about a 6x8 rough paper, waterproof paper, or watercolor paper I should say. And of course this wouldn't be a video without the dog noises shaking in the background. So it's a matter of filling in the areas where I intend to put the watercolor. I've tried to simplify this picture because to make it easy to follow. We don't have to put in every window and every chimney pot along the river, or every window. But I've endeavoured to put those windows along there. It doesn't take long to make a pen drawing from the pencil lines that are already there. So it's a fairly quick sketch to get everything in. You'll notice on the right hand side there's some trees, which when I did the painting part, I chopped a little bit of them out, unfortunately, to crop it. But nevertheless, you'll be able to see what's there now. So coming down the middle of the Seine River is a barge. Just a working barge that you might see on any river. So it's heading down stream, and of course at that particular moment there was no other traffic on the river, which is pretty lucky really. Because it's a fairly busy waterway down there. So there is a bit of detail involved in the barge, but I'll endeavour to simplify it so that it can be easily identified. So this particular barge is moving at a good speed. And on the right hand side is the wall, the river wall, which shows up. I just put in the wee name on the side there. So to start things off, I thought I'd put in a blue sky with a few clouds. And it's designed to make it a fairly dramatic sky because the actual subject is needs a bit of drama. So I thought that the sky might give it a lift. And of course I've got my board at a slight angle, so hence the water's running down. But that's okay, that's all right. So I started this in no particular order, but put the trees in on the right, and as you can see, part of the river wall and the trees have been cut there, but nevertheless you can see what they are. I've got the sunlight coming in from the right through the window, hence the shadow every time I dip my brush in, it shows up. But with a bit of luck it's not detracting too much from the painting part of it. And so the wall along there, along the sides, is a yellow ochre colour. But it will have to be refined later on. This is just the first coat. And of course on the other side as well, we've got the wall. And so we put in the chimney pots, and onto the tower itself. There's one good thing about it is that you don't need a lot of detail. I mean, as long as you put the rough design of the Eiffel Tower in, people can see what it is. and so onto the barge itself, which is the dark colour along the sides there. I thought I'd just put a bit of dark colour in for the windows, so that they stand out. And I quite like the green colour for the barge. It's actually taken. This is taken loosely from a reference, but the actual reference, boat. It's another type of boat. It's like a sailing boat, but I decided to simplify it and put a barge in instead. Well, I've put a bit more colour in there to make it stand out a bit more. A lot of these barges are nondescript, so that they're not brightly coloured. So at least we can see what it is. And now the yellow ochre colour, I painted over the top of the first coat to give it that genuine look. And that bridge going across there is well in the distance, so it's got a dark colour. And there's a few trees growing along the riverside there, so I'll just pop those in. Put a bit of greenery, make a bit of a different colour there. And of course the rest of the city can be seen in the distance beyond. Good thing about this sort of painting is that you can knock this up in half an hour or an hour, and you can really enjoy the experience of it. And because it's so far away, I just painted it in blue and put a few shapes there to define what might be in the distance. So on this side is a blue roof, or some blue roofs, several. Dark blue, light blue, and that will give it some shape there. and the shape on the tower itself to help it stand out. Now I put a bit of green in there. The idea was to put some blue with it, like that, to try and make it a bluey green colour. But of course the water along there is all different colours. So that's what I decided to do, just to make it different colours and give the effect of, try and give the effect of movement as the barge goes by. There is a little bit of dry brush method there with running the brush on its side to give it the rippled effect. And so I managed to put a bit of blue in there to take away the green. I decided to try and re-wet that part down there because it looks a bit too square, and just to make a few improvements. And over there near the middle there's a bit of a blob of blue paint. You might say there it's a happy accident, but I don't want it to stay there for very long because it's just going to be an eyesore otherwise. I've managed to get a bit of colour there in the tower and everything like that. So I can just scrub that mark a wee bit just to stop the eye from looking at it. So what I've decided to do now is just to go over some of the areas with the pen to refine some of the lines and details, just as scribbly little marks. Not particular details, but just marks that will help define certain outlines and give it a bit of definition. So it's almost finished now, almost at the end of it. And so for a sketch, for a watercolor and pen sketch, it doesn't take long to finish. Bye bye for now. Please like and subscribe. Cheerio.